Hi everyone, Kelly Bear here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something that I haven't done for a while, and that is, as you'll see from the title, a monthly faves and fails maybe. And I had to go back through my channel and check when was the last time that I did a faves video, and it was March last year. I thought it was sort of later, like late spring, early summer, July at a push. But no, it was March, and that really says to me, like, I was so done with 2024 by March already. I was really struggling to find joy in things, like find genuine joy in things, and then also it felt quite flip for me to be talking about my monthly faves as well. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get myself in the headspace. I just was not. Last year was not a good year. Off the back of a run of not good years, you know, so I was really running on fumes. I was really burnt out, and I was still making videos, and it was my most consistent year of making videos since I started my channel 9 years ago. But there was just something about the faves videos that I wasn't really jiving with, and if I'm not enjoying a video, like a series or a topic or a hash, I'm not gonna do it. It's just silly, because I'm just sort of torturing myself, and then it's going to come across in a video that I'm like, my heart's not in it. But anyway, I'm trying to overcome the burnout and the constant state of like exhaustion and dread to cultivate moments of joy and celebrate wins where I can, because rest is resistance, but I think also being able to fill up your cup with that joy and you know, celebration is also a form of resistance, because it allows you to keep going. And I think that's what I was struggling with last year, and what I was also sort of failing to do. But it's like when you're depressed, you know, all the things that you're supposed to do that help depression, but when you're depressed, you struggle to do them because you're depressed. And like this similar thing with like burnout, like I'm aware that there are certain things that I need to be doing to sort of counterbalance that, especially living in a chronically ill body. But I just was running so much on empty that I didn't even have much to like even give to myself. And whenever I did have energy, I was giving it out, because that felt like a better use of my energy. But this year I'm trying to be a bit more sustainable, and fill my cup up so that I'm able to, do you know what, not even a cup, I want to fill up my jugs. I want to fill up some jugs. I want big jugs full jugs. This was maybe should have, that's yeah, anyway, so that my jugs run over. I was thinking of like the star card and hope, but it came across a bit filthy, so never mind. Anyway, moving on. So we're doing a monthly faves, and like I said, maybe fails. So yeah, January. It's already done. Today is Friday the 31st as of filming this video. Flew by. January always flies by for me. Because my birthday, I'm a January baby. My birthday is in January, and Dr. Nomi, her birthday is in January, and both my brother and my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law's birthdays are also all in January. It's a busy month. So it's kind of like a month that's full of nice things. I know a lot of people don't enjoy January, but I've never really had an issue with January. It's February that can get me a little bit, but we do still have Valentine's Day and my spouse's birthday, so that sort of keeps me going. Anyway, I digress. I do have some little notes written here. Will I remember to pay attention to them properly? Can't guarantee that. We'll just see how it goes, but I have written some bullet points and little notes of things that I enjoyed this month, and things that I might have failed at. And I didn't set any New Year's resolutions. I've spoken about this in previous videos to this one, but I did sort of have some like small intentions or things that I'd like to do that maybe I didn't. So decks that I worked with this month. Not really any specifically. I sort of played with decks, but I didn't do any sort of readings or digging in like with any decks. I didn't do any daily readings or week ahead readings or just check-ins. I didn't do any magical work, and that is because for me, over the last few years, I see January as what is sometimes termed as the witch's rest. This is something I heard Corey Hutchison talk about on the New World Witchery podcast several years ago, and so I really take on that on board, because I'm looking at what nature is doing, and nature is turning inwards. It's quiet, it's not expending too much energy, it's just taking time out. And so that's what I do for January, is just sometimes just up to my birthday. This year it's been all the way through the whole month. I just don't worry about it. I still do my daily offerings and things like that. They're like sort of my little like daily practices, but I don't like do any deep divination work. I don't do any I might do some like breath work and like light meditation, but I'm not doing any like intense magical stuff. I'm witch's rest, so I didn't really work with any decks. However, that being said, I did receive 2 decks, and I did buy myself 2 decks, and I did share these in a deck haul video from 2 or 3 weeks ago. I received from a lovely online friend 2 decks, and from Carolyn, and from Duff Tarot. I got the Endless Oracle, which this is, I don't know if it's been produced since, but this is a Kickstarter. And if you want to see all of these decks a bit more in depth, then you can, I'll try to remember to link the video in the description box for you. But it came out of the blue, and it was sent with a birthday card. And I don't know if Carolyn meant for my channel anniversary. My channel was 9 earlier this month, or if it was for my actual birthday, which was a week ago today. This time last week I was already out and about celebrating my birthday. But this deck's really cool. It's got a very sort of limited colour palette, and it's basically it creates scenes together that you can sort of mix around like panoramas, which is really, really cool. So I did have a little bit of a play with that. Again, if you want to see how I sort of played with decks this year rather than like worked with them or used them. Sometimes I don't like using the word I used this deck. It sounds a bit, I don't know. Work with feels more appropriate, or played with. Yeah, if you want to see how I played with these decks and any like little bibby fun readings I did with them, I have that in that video. And then the one that like super surprised me in the package was this Tarot de Marseille by Tanja Teubner, who is a German artist. This is a sort of pip. It's not a true Marseille, because the layout of a lot of the pip cards is not true to the Marseille style. It's case in point being very much so the wands, or the batons, and the swords. Here we go. Here's one of the baton. But this is an out of print deck that I just didn't nab a copy of. And when the artist announced that it was going to be going out of print and she wasn't going to be producing any more copies, it was just, and it's not a super expensive deck, but I was just so not in a position to be able to buy it, unfortunately, even though it wasn't a massively pricey deck for an indie deck. I think it was really reasonably priced. I just couldn't justify it. And so I was like, oh well, never mind, maybe one day it'll come into my life, maybe I'll find a copy second hand, or maybe the artist will change her mind. But no, it turned up in a surprise package. So thank you so much, Carolyn, for those. Really just such a surprise, such a lovely surprise. And then I bought myself 3 decks with some money I got for Christmas. That I don't have the decks in these boxes because I used them for photographs for my shop drop, my pouches this weekend. will be today, actually. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. So these decks are actually in the pouches at the moment, but I got the Unfolding Path Tarot and the Modern Goth Tarot. This looks so much like a friend of mine. Looks like my friend Alison. So much. And then I also bought myself the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck by Kim Crans, which I was very enchanted by. Just the book alone, really enjoyed reading, you know, the first few chapters, sections of the book. I'm really hoping they'll do a mini version of this, because shuffling this, I'm telling you, is not the one. I find it easier to shuffle the large round one than this one, the archetypes, but I utilize and use the small archetypes, the pocket archetypes in a tin, for like shuffling and doing, you know, draws, and then I use the full-sized version for the book, because it's easier for me to see, first of all, but also I would then place the larger card like up on my altar or on my desk here, so that I can have a look at it throughout the day, week, month, whatever. It's usually at least a week. Those archetype cards feel very big, they feel very meaty, there's a lot to sort of get out of each one. That's why I struggle with a lot of the like larger spreads with the deck, because it's so much that, like, it's like the Weaver's Oracle, it's a lot, so then having multiple cards that are so much, it feels like a bit overwhelming. So yeah, so those are the decks that I received and or bought for myself, so that was really nice. I failed to wrap up my final little bits of my solar return reading from last year. I'm still working on it, but my plan was to have it all finished and wrapped up, and all my last thoughts and final like bits of digging in with it by the night before my birthday. But I was last week, the first few days of the week, I was just really not feeling very good. I was in a horrible fibro flare. I was in a lot of pain. I was very exhausted. I was dealing with a lot of fatigue, and I was really, really worried that I wasn't going to be well enough for my birthday. So the Wednesday and the Thursday last week, I literally had to have like days in bed, because I was like, I don't want to have to stay in bed on my birthday. That sucks. So rather than when I'm resting, I also have to rest myself mentally, because that will also wear me out and cause fatigue or worsen fatigue. So I had to just like nix that. But it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I can still sort of continue to wrap up that in. And I changed my mind, because originally, I don't know if people have seen one of my previous videos where I share my my new tarot journal. I was going to completely finish last year's tarot journal, the last pages, and then move on to my new one, but I changed my mind. I did decide that I would like a fresh start, so I have already moved into my new tarot journal. I couldn't help myself. So yeah, that's the thing. So I failed, but it's a fail, but it's not like I will get around to it. But I was kind of beating myself up a bit last week that I hadn't, because I'd been more lax with my solar return spread last year than I had been the previous few years. I'd really struggled to check in as much as I would have liked, as deeply as I'd have liked. So I don't think I mined that spread, that reading, for as much as I could have. But again, trying to hold some grace for myself, because last year was really, really difficult. I mean, I know for so many people on so many fronts, right? So yeah, I also failed to read much. My original plan was that I was going to read non-fiction in the mornings and fiction in the evenings before bed, or in bed rather. Actually, I need to pause the video so I can get some books. So the book that I even posted it on Instagram, I was like, this, because it matched my pajamas, is the New Moon Magic book, which I've had since last year or the year before, and I really love the podcast, and I would like to get their first deck, the Missing Witches book. There's a Missing Witches deck, which is why it's throwing me off. There's a Missing Witches book, and it's named after the podcast Missing Witches. I highly recommend it. I've been recommending it for years at this point. It's so good. And the presenters, Risa Dickens and Amy Torok, not Tovak. I always want to say Tovak. I feel like that's a Star Trek thing. Tovak? The Vulcan guy. No, hang on. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Tuvok. I'm thinking of Tuvok. Nerd. So I started on which chapter was it? Was it in New Moon in Leo? And it's all about music, and I was so digging the chapter. I didn't even finish the chapter, even though I was enjoying it so much, and there was like 2 pages left. This is Neuro Spicy Brain, where there's things that I really want to do. I really want to do them. So it doesn't even matter if I want to do something. I sometimes cannot get my brain to like push me to do it. So frustrating. So I read almost an entire chapter of this over the space of like a morning, and a little bit that lunchtime, I remember that day, and then I didn't read anymore, and that was right at the beginning of January. But I did do better with the evening reading, and I am now, I've gone from 3/4 of the way through Hilary Mantel's Wolf Hall to just so close. I mean, I don't know, I'm on page 611 and 650 is the last page, so I have like 40 pages left essentially. I love this book. I still need to watch season 3 of Wolf Hall. I loved seasons 1 and 2. I just think the costuming alone is stunning. The lighting is stunning. I know people complained that they couldn't see much because it's very dark, but they relied a lot on natural lighting to create a more realistic portrayal of how environments would have felt to be in during that period. This is based around Henry VIII and Thomas Cromwell. Very interesting character. The costuming is just chef's kiss in that show. So I'm very excited to watch the final season of the series. I'm sad that Hilary Mantel passed away before she got to see the final season completed. It was already in the works, or they were writing up the final season and consulting with her, but she passed away sadly. And I have Bring Up the Bodies, and I have the whole set of this. These are all from my father-in-law, who is an avid reader, and he just gives me books when he's finished with them. He's like, oh, you should just have it. He's so sweet, love him. So did better on that. So it's not a complete fail. So I'll take that as a win, honestly. TV, I have been watching from the beginning. From season 1, episode 1, Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls is a show that started in 2000, but we didn't get it in the UK until 3 years later from its initial airing in 2003. So I always see it as like a mid-noughties show, but actually it started in 2000. And it's a real, whenever it was on TV, so by the time it was airing in the UK, I was initially still at home. I had just finished my degree. I studied in London, and I am from London, so I stayed at home to study to save money essentially. So I do remember like catching an episode here or there, and then it was still airing once I'd moved out and had gotten a place with some friends. And so whenever it was on, it was one of these things I just watched because I always enjoyed the characters. But I've never so I know certain things that happen, like big spoiler type things. And please don't spoil me, because I don't know everything that happens, but there's some things that are like big things that I do know that happen. I just thought, you know what? People are always talking about how it's such a comfort show for them. I'm going to watch it from the beginning, and I'm really enjoying it. It is so cozy. And actually, incidentally, my spouse has started watching it with me, so they've only watched a handful. I'm on episode 14 or 15 of season 1, so good way in, 3/4 of the way in at this point. But my spouse has been, I might watch an episode or 2 in between and they'll catch one, but I might have to just actually start watching it, not watching any without them, because they're really getting into it as well. So that's our new little thing. It's just a cozy, there are things that are problematic about it with regards to language that might be used. There's a lot of like body shaming as well, which I'd forgotten about, like the whole diet culture of like the 90s and the aughts. Oh my god, the stuff, like some stuff hasn't aged well, but also I'm surprised how well some of the stuff has aged as well. So I don't know, and it was blowing my mind. I was like, wow, so this is 2025. That's a quarter of a century ago that show aired, come this autumn. And that's the equivalent of watching a show from 1975 in the year 2000, which felt like forever ago when I was like 19, 20 years old. Like, wow, 1975, I wasn't even born then. So I'm like, wow, that's the same time again has passed. It's just a bit of a weird sort of thought to have, like realising how quickly time goes, and when you take that time back the other way rather than forward if you take it back. So yeah, and do that little thought experiment. So there's that. So I've been enjoying Gilmore Girls. On a sadder note, a lot of the dogs that I follow on Instagram, I follow a lot of like cute dogs because I just love seeing cute little wonky dogs and what they get up to. Have passed away. Something like 5 or 6 of, like, a lot of them were old at this point. Some of them I've been following for a really long time, but they passed away. So it was really sad to have these accounts that are like the little pockets of joy that I see on social media amongst all of the sort of awful stuff that you will see on social media, and a lot of really important stuff I think to see on social media, and being staying informed about things, and there's a lot of educational stuff on there. But like following the dog accounts is like my little like gift to myself, that little bit of like joy. And yeah, so many have passed away that it's been really, really sad. So like Lenny of Puppy Songs passed away. So after Ma Pup died last year, I believe it was, or the year before. Lil Hobbs crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. Falcor the Gobliness. Puggy Woo. And then her brother, like a couple of weeks later, or 4 weeks later, and a couple of others that I follow as well. So it's been really sad. It's been making me hug Dr. Nomi all the closer because she was 12 this month. And you know, she's definitely a senior dog at this point. Her face is going more and more grey. She's definitely slowing down. And 12 years has gone really quick, and you know, she's very, very unlikely to be here in another 12 years. So like, trying to not cry. I'm PMSing, I'm due on it imminently. But yeah, so, and it's just like, yeah, it's just sad. And yeah, that's just what it is. And you know, so much of what I see on Instagram especially is incredibly heartbreaking. I don't want to what's the word? I don't want to negate that. But what I mean is, like, the dog thing was meant to be the little pocket of joy on social media for me, and it's been, you know, it's been very sad on top of all the other sadness. So it's been quite, yeah, everything's been a lot. So what else have I been enjoying? I've been enjoying baking and cooking because I got a couple of I got a baking book for Christmas. One of my Christmas presents from my spouse was the little book of vegan baking, which I really love the website, the blog, and the creators' Instagram. And so I've been doing a bit of baking because I got a new oven for the first time, a fully actual super awesome working, does what it says on the tin oven. And I'm super happy to be able to be baking again, but also getting into cooking again, because I've been really struggling to break out. I've been making a lot of the same thing now for several years, which is fine. I like to have the same thing a lot. I really like there's like a couple of dishes that I particularly like that I have a lot, like multiple times a week, but I'm struggling to find joy in the cooking because I don't go out to eat in restaurants or cafes anymore unless it's to sit outside. So it's cold as fuck right now, and wet and windy, and we've had storms, so you know, I have to, other than occasionally getting a takeaway, have to cook all the time. So I have been doing some cooking and some baking from cookbooks, which has been really nice. And I've made my second time round making the Banandiaries website chocolate chip cookies. They've come out differently yet again because I keep changing it up, because I keep not following the recipe fully, which I need to do. Can't help myself. I'm always like tinkering with the recipe, or I can't always find the exact ingredients. I don't know why I started eating whilst filming, but this is one of chocolate chips, 2 types, milk chocolate and dark chocolate. Oh my god, it's so good. Anyway, so I'm just going to keep practicing with this particular recipe because I want to nail it. But it's fun trying. It's the trial and error is fun. It's tasty experimentation. So I've been enjoying that. And the other thing, because I've been doing the cooking and baking, it meant that I could, holy shit, I'm gonna pause. So sorry, like chocolate chips stuck in my teeth. It meant that I could pull this bad boy out again. So I bought this recipe binder very shortly before my oven really started to shit the bed, and it just wouldn't heat up. It would take ages to heat up, and it would never heat up properly to the temperature that I wanted it to. And I always use an oven thermometer anyway when I'm baking, because I just like to be, you know, on that front, because ovens do vary. But it wouldn't matter if something was meant to be baked at like 175 degrees, I'd have to turn the knob all the way up to like 250 degrees or something. This is Celsius. We'd use Celsius here in the UK, and to try and then wait for it to get to the right temperature. It was an absolute nightmare. So not long after I got this, I had to like give up baking in my oven because it was useless. And then in September, October 2023, it finally completely died. And we didn't have an oven for over a year. Or for almost a year. And so that's why I got this is my baking binder. And I was so gutted because I'd set it up all nice. It's really fun. I've done like a junk journaling thing with it. I've got the little sections. The stickers are coming off though. And I've got recipes in here already. Some of the stuff that I used to make all the time. Gluten-free vegan peanut butter brownies. Vegan chocolate brownies. Some shortbread, which I made just before Christmas. I put that in here. Chocolate chip coconut cookies. Peanut butter filled chocolate cookies. They're really good. Yeah, just all sorts of stuff. And I've got like my cherry chocolate muffins, gingerbread cookies, almond peach muffins. I'm making myself hungry. It's lunchtime. And then I've got like some soups and stews in here for the savouries. So tacos. Breakfast stuff, vegan Dutch style pancakes. I need to put my waffles in here because I've perfected my waffles. I took a good while perfecting my waffle recipe. I took a number of different vegan waffle recipes, then I tried them all out, and then I tinkered with them, and then I sort of like worked out what was working and what wasn't, and then I sort of came with my own recipe. It's really good. I love it. So yeah, so I'm so glad that I can now start to put my recipes in here again. I'm very excited. So that's something that I've been enjoying this month, is getting this back out and writing up a couple of the more recent things I've tried in here, so I can cross that off. As I said, it was my birthday last Friday. Excuse me, and I had a lovely day. I went to the Tim Burton exhibition. My spouse got us tickets, booked us tickets, rather jammily managed to get tickets for my birthday, because it sells out really quickly. Well, you have to book in advance, and they booked these like 2 or 3 months ago or something, and it was really great because there was all sorts of stuff spanning from since when he was a child all the way through his career, and there was examples of costumes, some costumes that I've seen before. So I've previously have seen the Catwoman costume in real life at a Hollywood costuming exhibition about a decade or so ago. I've seen what else they had there that I'd seen before. I think it was the was it the Edward Scissorhands one? I can't remember, but I was able to get a closer look at the Edward Scissorhands one this time. I was literally like able to stand right next to, obviously there was glass there, but I got a much closer look, and the exhibition wasn't overly busy like that Hollywood costuming one was, because I went on the last day that one was open, and it was rammed and you had to keep moving quite quickly, so which was disappointing, because I'm one of those people that wants to read all the things and really absorb. Sometimes I'll take a sketchbook, like they had like all the maquettes from the stop motion films like The Corpse Bride and Nightmare Before Christmas and Frankenweenie and stuff like that. That was really great. Props and just artwork that he's done outside of you know, the films and things, and loads of his sketches, tons and tons of sketchbooks and things from his personal collection. And you know, it's really funny because when you walk in, it says Tim Burton is a da-da-da-da filmmaker with groundbreaking films such as Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands and Batman. And I was like, I love how they've like mentioned like his earlier work, because like, let's be honest, it's been diminishing returns, at least in my humble opinion. Also, it's really sort of bittersweet because he works so much with actors that I find problematic, and he himself is problematic, and you know, Danny Elfman is problematic, and so it's trying to sort of realise that his earlier work, more so, not so much his later work, was such an important inspiration and part of my life, but also realising, you know, that you know, these are fallible humans, and there's definitely what I found quite interesting was there's a lot in the exhibition talking about how he felt very misunderstood, and you know, he was this weird little like boy in this like really suburban neighborhood, which is, you know, features a lot in his work, and how he was so like, you know, misunderstood, this misunderstood person, and how, you know, he felt an affinity with the monsters and the outcasts and all this stuff. And it's very sort of like cis-het white boy, you just don't get me kind of thing. You know, like in hindsight and looking at his body of work and the way that, you know, his casting for things, you know, he's not known for being he's been, you know, pulled up for like his lack of diversity in his casting and so on and so forth. And I find it quite interesting that he felt so misunderstood, and that he sort of aligned himself with the marginalised and the sort of disenfranchised, yet he didn't seek from his early days to like cast marginalized groups in his films. It's a bit like it's quite myopic, his way of like looking at how sort of cut off and isolated and unloved and misunderstood he felt. So I got a very sort of feeling of that. So it's interesting, like, you know, looking at someone whose work that you admire but also being able to critique it, I think is a healthy way, and critique them as a person is quite a healthy thing to be able to do. Anyway, I've just waffled on about the Tim Burton exhibition. If you are able to book a ticket, I do recommend it. I did really thoroughly enjoy it. I did wear black and white stripes, obviously. I genuinely thought people would be theme dressing. Reader, they were not theme dressing. I was literally the only person in like a black and white striped dress, and it was pretty busy still. So I look like a walking cliche. Never mind. I love black and white stripes anyway. I just love, like, I've just always, and I think it is down to Tim Burton's work, a lot of it. I just, ever since a young age, ever since I saw Beetlejuice, I was like, oh, black and white stripes are awesome. They are awesome though, right? So what else? My spouse got me an entire loaf cake of my favourite loaf cake from our local bakery, our local vegan bakery called Beaten by a Whisker. It's amazing. All of the cake they do there, everything they make, savoury or sweet, is amazing. But I recently had their carrot cake a couple of months ago, and I was like, why have I never had their carrot cake before? And I loved it so much. I was like, can you imagine just getting a whole loaf cake of this to yourself? So my spouse, for my birthday cake, bought me, like, ordered a custom full size, not just a slice, but like the whole cake as my birthday cake. So that was amazing. What else? I received some lovely gifts, one of which was a deck. I'm just going to pause and grab the gifts. Okay, so one of the gifts I actually would just realise as I sat down, I have at my back, and it is a hot water bottle cover. It's knitted in these lovely stripes. It's like a muted aqua, a muted lime, and a muted sort of thistle colour maybe. And I don't know if you can see the buttons, but there's 2 rainbow hearts with the closest, this was made by my sister-in-law, it's the closest she could find to Dr. Nomi. So it's a Chihuahua button, but Dr. Nomi is half pug, half Chihuahua. She's a chug. So she was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't find one that looked exact, because Nomi has floppy ears, but sometimes when Nomi lays down, her ears point up. So there are times when she does look a bit more sort of classically Chihuahua-ish. And I just thought, what a thoughtful present, because if anyone who knows me, like, my obsession with hot water bottles is real. Like, I have fibromyalgia, I struggle with like PMDD and like extremely painful periods, and so I often will have I struggle to regulate my temperature, so I often have a hot water bottle on my back and or my tummy or on a painful area of my body, neck, shoulders, what have you. So yeah, that was just a really, really thoughtful gift, and my mother-in-law must have mentioned it to my sister-in-law, because when I went up and visited my in-laws last September, my mother-in-law was using this I had really bad period cramps, and she gave me this hot water bottle in this really cute knitted cover, and I was like, oh my god, did you make this? Because she's very crafty. She said, no, she said Kira made it, which is my sister-in-law. I was like, oh wow, because Kira's a bit crafty as well. And I was like, this is so cute. I would just, what the sweetest thing that she made, this beautiful knitted hot water bottle cover for you. How special. So she must have mentioned it to Kira, and then Kira made that for me. Like, I can't even. So sweet. So Dex, my friend Simon at the Hermit's Cave, took a punt. I was like, how did you know that I'd been considering this deck? And he's like, I was like, did I mention it to you? He's like, no, I just took a punt. I was like, well, you did well. It's the Ehrenberg Tarot, which came out last year or the year before, and I've been humming and hawing about it because I also really like the look of the Supernova Tarot. And I was like, I was gonna get either or. I know they're like they're very different, but they also have a kind of a similarness to me in my head for some reason. But I got sent the Ehrenberg by Simon, and it's not in order because I have shuffled it and been sort of playing around, like laying it out in like 9 card box spreads, just to sort of get a look at the cards and how they sort of jive together and how readable the deck is. I haven't done any readings with it yet, but it puts me in mind a little bit of the Morgan Greer, in the sense that it's like really sort of close-up moments. So this is the 10 of Wands. No, is it the 10 of... Yeah, 10 of Wands. So you've got a hand pushing a boulder up a hill. I guess this is meant to be like the whole idea of like Sisyphus, a Sisyphean task maybe. I haven't read the guidebook. Oh, should we have a look? 10 of Wands. Let's see if it mentions Sisyphus. 10 of Wands, where are you? Cups. Okay, it's further back. The Wands, yeah. Okay. 10 of Wands. This card illustrates... Where did I put it? Where did I put it? There it is. Meow. This card illustrates the final gathering of energy needed to move the last boulder or final obstruction. This is the card signalling the final push to completion. Okay, maybe not. I just immediately thought of Sisyphus, you know, constantly pushing that rock up the hill. Anyway, never mind. That was where my head went. So yeah, that was lovely. I didn't get any tarot books. No, I did. I'm lying. One of my other presents that I got from my spouse, because they got me a few bits, was Red Tarot by Christopher Marmolejo. Sorry. it was because I was reading it backwards, reading it quickly backwards in the camera. Yeah, it's oh, hang on, I've got a pop-up. Go away. Pop-up on my phone, hang on, what's going on? Sorry, my laptop's doing a weird thing. I'm gonna have to pause. Sorry, I was just really thrown up because I just before I grabbed this book, a thing popped up on my computer screen, and I don't know what it was telling me, and it was distracting me. Sorry, yeah. So Red Tarot, a decolonial guide to divinatory literacy. I cannot read today. My God, Divinatory Literacy by Christopher Marmolejo. I know that there's a couple of podcast episodes that he's spoken on, of podcasts that I listened to, but I haven't listened to them yet. I've been saving them. There's a few podcasts that I've been saving because I knew that as soon as I listened to it, I'd want to read the book. So it's like, I'll wait till I have the book and then I'll listen, and then I'll be able to read the book, and hopefully I'll be able to actually get off my ass and read the books. I received, with some, what's the word? Book token. I got a book token. I ordered Pagan Portal, Spellcraft and Spellwork. This is by Ariana Carrasca, the Oak Witch. Ari, the Oak Witch. And I'd heard lots and lots of good things about this. I actually bought a copy of this for a friend at Christmas who wants to get into practicing magic. And I thought, you know what? Well, I've bought it for a friend. I should really read it for myself and see what I'm like recommending to people. And I'd seen loads of people that I really admire and respect really rate this book. I'm sort of in the bit where I'm like looking at the spell examples that you can try at the back. I really enjoyed the main bit of the book. It's a wee book. It didn't take me very long to read. I guess I have read a bit more than I thought, because I read this. I will say I do still think that my first rec for anyone wanting to get into witchcraft or just practicing magic, because this is like non-denominational, which is great, is 6 Ways by Aidan Wachter. This is great if you're like just looking to get into magic, but I do feel like Aidan Wachter's 6 Ways just goes that little bit further in sort of setting you up in able to and giving you the tools that you need to really get up and running and practicing that. And if you want to go real ham, then you know, Psychic Witch and or Mastering Magic by Matt Oren. But if someone's really unsure and they just want to dip their toes, this is the book I'd recommend. If someone's like, no, I really want to get into it and I don't know where to start, I would recommend 6 Ways. So they both have their place in my mind. I also, with the same book token, ordered this one, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Can I read today? I'm butchering everyone's names. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired and my PMS brain is like so foggy and scrambled. Gillig with a G, not a C at the end. Apologies. Maiden Monster Martyr. I don't know. Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. I don't know. I just took a punt. Might be good, might be rubbish, we'll see. But I know that I wanted to get some more fiction to enjoy. And then I also received a couple of other cookbooks. I got the Speedy Bosch book. My aunt got me 2 cookbooks. She was so naughty. She said, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, oh, there's a couple of these cookbooks that I really like, so one of those would be great. She bought me both the cookbooks and then she put money in a birthday card for me as well. She spoils me. So that's my favourite aunt. She's awesome. Speedy, not because she gives me things, but because she's probably one of the only members of my like blood family that like gets me, because we're very similar. Speedy Bosch, quick, easy, all plants. There's another one that I want to get, which is the 20-minute vegan, because this is all meals 30 minutes or less. But sometimes I'm like really low spoons or low time, so the 20-minute vegan, I do want to get that one as well. I've already tried a recipe out of this one. It was the oh man. It's in the hearty meals section. Cheats toad in the hole with curry gravy. I made this last Sunday. So it uses phyllo pastry sheets rather than doing like the batter that you would usually use for Yorkshire pudding. You'd make toad in the hole with. For anyone that's not British, is probably what the fuck is toad in the hole? It's basically usually like delicious batter with sausages in it, and then you cover it in gravy. So this one uses phyllo pastry, and then I didn't do the curry gravy, I did onion gravy, and then I did garlic mash and miso crispy broccoli. Oh my god, it was mouth watering. It was so good. It was so good. And then I got the plant protein by Gigi Gracia, an Italian chef cook on Instagram. I really enjoy her content. There's the dogs and the vegan cooks on Instagram, like really are like the little sort of highlights in my Instagram feed a lot of the time, and I've tried loads of recipes off of the Instagram like foodie sites. If you want a list of the vegan Instagrammers that I follow and whose recipes I've tried and really enjoyed, let me know and I'll see if I can like link them down below, or if I can, I don't know, maybe it's not that interesting for people, but anyway, I'm excited to, here she is. She always finishes her, whenever she tastes her food, she goes, oh, mamma mia, because she's Italian, and I think it's sort of a little sort of cheeky little, you know, yes, I'm Italian, yes, I'm gonna say mamma mia, but yeah, I'm excited. I've made some of her stuff that she shared on her Instagram account, lots of like I've tried some of her soups and like casseroles and things, stews, mouth watering. I also bought, with some of my Christmas money that I've got, some stickers for the aforementioned tarot journal that I bought for myself. So I just thought I would share those before I stick them on. So the first batch are from an artist called Jessi Elise. Oh, there we go. Jessi Elise illustration on Etsy, and they're so cute, and they're hologram. Chaos Goblin, yes, because I refer to myself as a Chaos Goblin. They even have the 2 rings in their ear like me, because I still haven't put my scaffold back in. I need to get a new scaffold thing. 100% goth juice, goth juice, 100% pure darkness. These are quite big stickers as well, with the little bat on there, and it's again got that hollow. And then Spooky Bitch, because you know, anyone's watched my channel for any length of time will know that I refer myself to Spooky Bitch as a Spooky Bitch. Oh, I forgot to say, one of the other presents that my spouse got me was this little set from Tatty Divine. So it's these little pumpkin earrings, because I'm obsessed with orange and pumpkins at the moment. I don't know if you've noticed. My mother-in-law got me this gorgeous sort of spiced pumpkin colour cardigan for Christmas from Lucy and Yak. Not impressed though, because I literally had to wear the seam joins, the knitting up here on the side, on the shoulder here. It's already started to unravel, so I had to repair that this morning. And I got the necklace, so hang on, if I move my keffiyeh out of the way, I got a little necklace. It's a little matching pumpkin set. I wouldn't normally wear both of them together. I would wear one or t'other, unless I was doing a real sort of kitschy sort of 50s does spoopy type thing, or 60s does spoopy type thing, but I wanted to wear them for the video to show you. It's a bit chilly today, so I had them all sort of wrapped right up. But yeah, so yeah, that was it on the presents that I got. And it was nice to get something from Tatty Divine, because I had done hair and makeup for Tatty Divine photo shoots several times in the past, and yeah, it was a little nod to one of the companies I'd worked with as a hair and makeup artist. And then I got 3 stickers from Wendy Stephens. Again, I don't want to show that she's got a code, like a discount code. I don't want to give that away. I got stickers from her last year. My spouse bought me a bunch of stickers from her as like one of my Valentine's presents. And so I was like, I need to buy more stickers from this artist. Her stuff's great. So I've got this like little holographic ghosty spooky gumball machine. Come on, camera. Might be because it's shiny, it doesn't want to show. Oh, how annoying. Anyway, so the gumball has little balls that have like a pumpkin and a coffin and an eyeball and a spider and a cauldron and a planchette and a book of spells and a skull and a ghost and a kitty cat. It's just like all spooky stuff. Anyway, it's super cute. I got a Mothman cryptid sticker. I have some of her other cryptid ones as well. If I get the last 2 remaining cryptids, I will have the whole 6 sticker set of the cryptid stickers that she made. This one's Mothman, so that'll join some other fun stickers. And then I got this bat, and then I think she put these in extra. There's just these little ghosties she just threw in for me, which is really sweet. Oh, and the previous artist Jessi Elise had thrown in this little as a little extra as well. It's so cute when creators, they don't have to do that, put in little extras. And then where's it gone? Did I not take it out? Oh no. Where is it? I ordered another sticker. Where has it gone? What have I done with it? Hang on, I'm just going to have to pause for a second. Panic over, it had fallen on the floor. It's a D20, it's a sparkly D20, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's a type of dice, a dice 20. It's got 20 sides and is commonly used in tabletop RPGs, primarily probably associated with Dungeons and Dragons, which is something that I play. And you could pick a colour, and I picked a sort of lavendery purple colour because purple is one of my faves. I nearly got the green, but I didn't in the end. Actually, I'm really not noticing a theme with the colours that I've picked. And then the other, and then so that's from Guts and Glitter. Sorry, this one. They didn't put a little card in with their parcel. They just put the stickers in. And then there's this like devil, even though I'm aware it's like really Baphomet. It's hard. The camera doesn't like that they're holographic and shiny, I think. They have so many cool stickers. I wanted so many of them. And these are all UK based artists, by the way. And then I got this like the vampire fangs because it was just such a blast from the past. We used to get these as kids, or these are the ones that I had as those uncomfortable plastic glow in the dark fangs, cheap fangs. That was like that, and a bin bag cut into a cape. That was my vampire outfit. And then if I was a witch, it was a bin bag cut into a cape with like a cardboard hat, and then those plastic witch fingers, because we were like broke. We had like not much, so my mum was like doing what she could, and the woman was working all the time, so she didn't have time to like be making stuff, so she did what she could. So yeah, those were the 2 variations on a theme every year. I was either a witch or a vampire, and sometimes a vampire witch. So yeah, so I got those stickers. What else? I think that is all the things. And then finally it's happened. I'm just gonna pause my. Okay, so finally, I mentioned I'll be starting this year. I was originally going to do it the first spread that I wanted to do as for my birthday, but actually I did decide against that, and I did do a birthday tarot spread, but it wasn't meant to be a tarot spread that was like my one that I usually do, which is to be checked in over and over throughout the year and digging in. I just wanted to do like a kind of one and done. So I got my tarot journal. I showed it before I coloured all the edges in. It's like this dusky pink, and then I don't know if I remember if I'd shown, I put some charms on the ends of the ribbons, bookmarks that come with it, just to make it more cute. I've already put a couple of stickers on, but I realised I didn't really have any like cute stickers left, so that's why I ordered some in for myself. And so I did my first reading. I set this up all pretty. I used like a little stencil. Come on, camera. No, doesn't want to. What if I turn the light off? Oh, now you can't see shit. There we go. Did that. using stencils that come with the journal. And then I've done birthday tarot reading. So I just found one on Pinterest, and I've started writing it out. And I will allow myself to work on this over the next couple of days and sort of mull it over. And then I might do a mind map, brain, mind, same diff. And finish writing my final thoughts on it. But I picked a deck in the moment, and I picked a deck from the decks I'd picked out for the season of care with this book, and one of those is the Animal Wisdom, which is now called the Spirit Animal Tarot, which just hate it. Change it back. Animal Wisdom is a perfectly good name for a deck. It has one of my favourite backs on any tarot deck ever, with this little coyote and hummingbird situation, reversible. So yeah, I decided to pick this one. It just called to me, and there's some interesting themes popping up and some like repetitive themes popping up, so I'll be digging into that. And then finally I also received Logan of Larkin Legends Pink Sugar Oracle, because they will be launching the Kickstarter for this. You can already save the pre-saving launch thing. What's it called? My god, my brain today. Basically there's a link where it will take you to the page for when the Kickstarter launches. You can save it. So it launches, I think it's Monday, February the 3rd. I think. I'm not 100, don't quote me on that. But next week's video will be me doing a walkthrough of this. It's clearly obviously been unboxed. I've already looked at it, I've already pulled some cards from it and what have you, and had a little look at the book, and so that's what I'll be doing next week, and I'll give you all the information next week on how you can back the Kickstarter for that. So yeah, and then finally, yeah, I'm giving myself earworms. This mini selection of tarot pouches will be going up on my shop on Sunday. It's a limited collection because I've been dealing with hand and elbow, shoulder pain. I'm having physiotherapy. I'm doing physiotherapy. Fingers crossed it will continue to improve and I'll be able to be properly up and working and creating larger amounts of pouches and other items soon. Please, because oh my god. But yeah, so this is the Stargazer collection, I'm calling it, and it is a limited colour palette of like navy, mustard grey and mint, and everything is related to so we've got 2-in-1 spread cloth / pouch wrap here, which is the reversible as well, with the mint on the other side. I've got yeah, it's all like cute little starry, you know, the midnight blue lining. Got one which has got a little shimmery silvery lunar, all based around the moon, obviously. Then we've got this really sparkly starry one that's all golds and sparkles and glitter, and so I see stars. And then this one's got a really gorgeous etched and cut out astrological wheel. This one's a tiny bit more pricey than my usual Standard Plus because the charms are expensive and I can't seem to get them in larger numbers to like reduce the price, which is annoying. And then I have one Lenormand pouch as well. And then there will also be a small selection of ribbon bookmarks in various, and there's no particular theme to these, it was just whatevs basically. But they incidentally, they all kind of all red, white and blue. Not that I'm patriotic as a Brit, but I guess that's, but yeah, there's like spooky ones and tarot ones and fairy tale ones and ocean. There's like one with a kind of slightly mermaidy theme. So yeah, those will be going up. So this, hopefully this video will be going up at 5 p.m. on Sunday the 2nd of February, and my shop drop will be going live on 7 p.m. Sunday the 2nd of February. So if you're watching this as this video comes out or not long after the video is just this video's come out, the drop will be going, or will be maybe already live. So yeah, so there's that. Support small businesses. We literally do happy dances anytime. Say we as a small business small makers do happy dances every time we get an order. Because it's rough out there. Like, that's the thing. Like, I know if you can't, I'm not producing anything that is an essential. I'm very aware of that. So you know, I don't want to make people feel bad if they can't buy from me. But if you can buy from me, and you have the option between buying from, you know, a mass marketplace or like Amazon or what have you, or a small maker, maybe try Teddy Bear Art or another small pouch, small creative. Christa of Christa Chronicals does beautiful what do you call it, crochet pouches that are just lovely. Yeah, so I've been enjoying the ones that she's been putting out, sharing as well. Really cool. So yeah, anyway, I have waffled on literally for pretty much an hour. There's like less than 30 seconds and it'll be a whole hour, so I don't know if anyone's still watching. If you're still watching, well done. Poor you, maybe, I don't know. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch and or listen to me ramble on about the things that I mostly enjoyed this month. I did go on a couple of side quests, and I felt like my brain, I felt like I was buffering a couple of times where I was trying to like get my words out, or I was distracted and I couldn't get my words out. Apologies for that. But yeah, I hope that wherever you are safe and you are well, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.